So in this episode, we're going to be going through the whole of second year. In uni, the second year is what you really find out, what you love, what you hate, and what you want to do after, if you want to carry on doing photography or if you want to go and explore into something else. So we're going to talk about 12 part first, and for me, I don't know about for you, Taylor.
Yeah, I thought 12 part was probably one of the most influential modules we had on the course. We had a module to form a portfolio of 12 individual themes. So there was music, sport, exterior portrait, interior portrait, environmental portrait,
Food,
group,
yeah,
and many others, and it was to test our skills in all sorts of different fields. So with the time limit, we had to be organised. I had to be more organised than I'd ever been, and I had to be resourceful in what I photographed, who I spoke to, what I did, to also ensure that I was creating good work.
I think the other thing about it was it made you use a wider range of equipment, and like that was the hardest one for portrait, doing a group shot, making sure everyone is in focus, looking at the camera, not blinking. My group shot was outside. It's football.
Oh yeah.
Because you were there, and I tell you what, using the lights and like seeing everyone, like looking at it now, I feel horrible to see it because I can see how wrong everything is. The lights are too powerful, the camera's shaking. Like, if I was going to do it now, and when I do group shots now, I try and keep it as simple as possible. I wouldn't do a group shot at night again on a football pitch, but that's really helped me look at how I would take a group shot now and what I definitely know I need to achieve to get a good group shot. What about you? What was your favourite one that you shot?
My favourite one? I can tell you my least favourite one.
Yeah.
My least favourite one was food.
Why?
Food's something I've always loved food, and I've always loved the thought of food photography. And like I said earlier, the 12-part portfolio tested my organisation skills, and how organised I was. So it was kind of, I did leave the food photography till last, and it slipped my mind slightly. So I didn't have as much time to plan an end product that I, looking back, loved. So it was very rushed in my kitchen, and for one of the parts I was most excited about, really I wasn't too impressed with.
Because I remember, like, after I saw on your Instagram you did quite a lot of food photography, and
yeah,
so why...
That was post 12-part portfolio.
Yeah,
I think that little failure drive me to go and
really
do some nice food photography.
How do you feel about lights?
I don't know about lights.
Were you scared of it, or were you looking forward to the process of it?
Yeah, I was scared of lights. With the experience came more confidence in lights, and I'd still say I'm learning now, and I still prefer shoots where I don't have to use lights.
Yeah,
they're my favourite. When I have to bring more external kit in apart from the camera in my hands, I find that a little bit. I find the pressure to go up a little bit, but without doing something like the 12-part portfolio where I did use lights on occasions, it was like definitely benefited my confidence. No, yeah, it was a big learning curve, especially equipment-wise, and especially schedule-wise, and organising myself as a professional.
I think from this project it definitely kicks me up the arse, and to be like, this is what you need to shoot. Like, there are a few where there's a little last minute that, if I had the chance to do it again, I don't think, maybe only the mini feature I would keep. The 12 part, if I was allowed to redo it, I'd redo every other image. It's good looking back now because I can see what I've done correct, but what I'd also definitely change. The one project I'd want to revisit in the whole of uni would be this 12 part.
So also in that first term of second year, we had our first multimedia project. And I think straight away, our first introduction to it, everyone was a little bit daunted with the fact of making short films. And we watched many a short film in Dave's lectures.
It was amazing to see what people did, but it's also scary to think, like, I have to do something, not to the same scale, but something to that degree, and like, because what were our two options? It was something hidden Cornwall
and people and passion.
Yeah, I did a farm for Hidden Cornwall, where realistically that's a people and passion project, and the guy who goes round Cornish hedging is a Hidden Cornwall one. Now I think I'm a bit more at ease, and I do it like a bit like how I take film photography personally. So it's definitely fun to work with all like the equipment and video and like making something new, and like it's that shot of like, if I failed I wasn't going to be upset because I've never done it before, so the benchmark was never set too high like for what I wanted to do. Like there was no real benchmark for me apart from just to make myself happy with what I had.
Because it was another new realm of storytelling. So it was like another way of telling a story other than a photo project, which I thought it was amazing. And I'd always been interested in video editing, and I'd watched a lot of films and I'd watched a lot of videos, and similar stuff to the content we were being shown is stuff that I love anyway. And I was like, this is my chance to try and make some of this. So my Hidden Cornwall was a video called A Wooden Alternative. So it was a former member of the course, Sam Glazebrook, and he was basically building a cabin in the woods near Penryn. So I contacted him, I went up there, took part in also building the cabin, but made a short film about that, which it really tested my eye for the shot and my eye for visual storytelling, and the importance of audio and the use of music. I found it a really exciting learning curve, and I was at the time I was happy with the content that I made out of it. Looking back now as to the creator that I am now, I will automatically be critical of what I did because it was a younger me with less experience, but it definitely taught me more and helped my video making now compared to what it was then. Even just similarity with the software, for example.
I don't know, for me I had to have a different perspective. Every camera angle I chose or did wouldn't necessarily be exactly the same as how I would photograph this event. So do you think, looking from say a filmmaker's point of view, that it's helped your photographic?
Definitely. I feel like within filmmaking there's a big emphasis on trying to make you feel like you're there. So with atmosphere and camera angles, you feel like you're either in the room or you get a better sense of the person or the subject. So film shots and screen grabs and me working on those projects has influenced my photography to help my photography give an insight of what's going on, and it's helped push me to explore more angles within my photography.
Do you see yourself more as that filmmaker or photographer?
If I look at a subject or a viable option, I see filmmaking as more of I put myself amongst it. I see it as a longer journey and a longer project compared to photography.
Okay.
So I do see a bit more excitement in it. I see more possibility in filmmaking and a better reciprocant of feeling in filmmaking than photography. In something like moving image, you normally return to the subject more than once. You return to the subject more than once, you get a better understanding of that subject. You're with them for longer.
You're building that relationship.
And then your output gives the viewer a better understanding of the subject because you're with them for 3 days, not one day.
Yeah.
So I have taken inspiration from that into my photography,
Mm-hmm.
and shooting a piece on an individual, instead of going to see them for an afternoon and taking a portrait or documenting their day, do that for 3 days, you get like a completely different story. You get like a far more submersive
So it's definitely benefited you.
Yeah,
like
100%. We had the opportunity to effectively create an audience and feed an audience, whatever our interest may be. So whether that would be a creative platform, whether that be a publication, whether that be a brand, we had the opportunity to make something as individuals or in groups to create content for, and basically see audience growth and a happy audience.
Yeah. This, if I was gonna like rate the course, like this would be its standout part. This is what makes the course different to every other press and ed or documentary photography course, is this feeling of like this is real people you're dealing with. Like you're not a university student, you are actually physically buying in and putting time into making something that will either stop at the end of the term, or for me carry on until whenever.
It was the opportunity to make something. It was the opportunity to make something that you could even take beyond the course if you wished. And it was the opportunity to not only just test your photography skills, which a lot of photography courses do, it was, you could put your business brain on, you could look at social media tactically, you could, you were making websites, you were looking at print.
For example, I did an endurance magazine called Jir with Max, Cameron, Rory and Connor, and we were approached companies such like Orange Mud and did a test piece for one of their bags. Doing that and them having no clue you're students, I think that's the thing that still surprises me now, because Jira has carried on, and it is from this project, which is why it's carried on, because of the success and also like the stories that were being told. It's also because you didn't want to let people down. It inspired people from the feedback they gave us, from the stories they were sharing with us. We knew that it was important to attempt and try to keep it going, and thankfully it has been kept going, because now it's getting made into a physical magazine. But obviously you did Scover, so you did something completely different to...
Yeah, completely different, but also similar. So it was myself, Hannah, Georgie and Millie. So it was very much kind of a lifestyle brand which encouraged outdoor living and outdoor creativity. So it was really great to, by the way, Scover is the Cornish translation for haven. And it was a great opportunity to put out new outputs, and we played with design, and we were targeting a print release. We loved using Instagram for like tactically, like creating a community where we weren't even having to be the ones taking the photos. We were like sharing people's work, and people wanted to be a part of it. And we had a number of people share work on our platforms. Someone went up to Hannah and said, "Oh, have you heard of Scover? They're doing some really cool things." And she was like, "Yeah, that's me. That's me and some course mates."
Yeah.
And like you said, no one knows your students, and that's the great thing about it. You get a real sense of this is what it could be like if you had an idea and you wanted to make it work yourself. The one thing about that module was that could easily become your baby. So whatever brand or concept you came up with could easily become a baby, and you had to remember that you were getting marked on it. You had to remember that you were working with other people and you were in it together. So even if you weren't too fond of something, like too fond of like a typeface or a photo series or an editorial layout, you had to go through the team. You couldn't pick it up and do it yourself.
Yeah. And how did
I had to remind people that don't make it a baby just yet. If it's got the potential and stuff to carry on and take it seriously, then it will. And it was keeping ourselves level-headed and grounded about it, made it easier to work as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually just our post-hand in our brand fizzled out. The workshops still go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think everybody's same love was there for it. People in the group had different opinions on where it was going.
Yeah.
And those different opinions on where it was going, we were fortunate enough that those opinions surfaced post-hand-in to pre-hand-in.
So, yeah. Another thing during second year, which I've just remembered, was internships.
Internships.
That one, I was emailing loads of people looking for an internship, and it's getting closer to deadline, and I was like, oh crap, like I haven't found anyone. But luckily, over Christmas, went home, got in touch with someone in London named Marta Lizitska, a fashion photographer, and did an internship with her for 2 weeks.
Was she shooting in a studio?
Yeah, shooting in studio, like she owns her own studio, she does fashion, and like in fashion, it was long days.
Long days.
I was there for, I think the longest day I did was 8 till 6. And yeah, to say I was knackered after would have been an understatement. And I still talk to her now and ask, like, when I'm home if she's got anything, like, she needs a hand with, like, can I come down and just help out? Like, so yeah, it's nice to have that connection into, like, that industry if I want to. And, like, I didn't really mind doing it for, like, free, if that makes sense.
You felt like it was valuable to you?
Yeah, it was like that time that she was giving to me was precious, because I didn't, like, some of the people just didn't reply to me, or some did and told me to go through their management, and obviously their management couldn't care less really, because you're just another hassle for them.
I split my internship time into two, so I did a week's experience with a design studio in Falmouth called 8wire. Found them on the internet, and I approached them and I said, have you got space for a photography intern to have a week's experience? And they said, yeah, for sure. So I came in, I helped them with some client work, I helped them with some self-branding, I did a home shoot. Taking away from that, just taught me a couple of things, how to carry myself in a professional environment. So, effectively we're going to a workspace where everybody's been there, they've worked to get there, they've worked hard, and they work hard day in, day out, and you have to carry yourself and fit in. So I didn't want to stand out as the guy on work experience. Yeah. So I worked hard. We talked about the projects. They were very critical, which was good. They spoke about my work in business terms.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find that? Did you find that a bit like
it was good? It
daunting, or did you enjoy it? It
was good because it makes me think about my photography in a different dimension, like how this business is going to use that photo, or how what photo this business are looking for. The other week I went and worked in the art department at my old school, which was good. I found myself in a teacher position. Yeah. I was kind of giving my knowledge to...
Allowed in the staff room.
Yeah, allowed in the staff room. I was giving my knowledge to younger students who were looking at art and photography, and giving my opinions and experience in what I learnt. And I was even teaching the art teachers about metadata and photography for brands and things, which they weren't teaching, obviously. They were looking at photography from a more artistic, experimental point of view. Yeah. And I was just bringing up conversations and talking points about photography from a business factor.
By the sounds of it, it's like you, as much as you learnt, you also gave.
Yeah. So I felt like I gave a lot. I felt like I shared a lot, and I also enjoyed the split of experience. There were two completely different places to work. doing completely different things. Like one of them, I didn't take any photos.
London week.
Yeah, we're going into the end of the term. We had the chance to put work up in our first exhibition. You know, self-organised by the students.
Self-funded.
Self-funded. We had an exhibition in Oxford House on Bethnal Green in London. And we had the chance to have our work up for a week. And you could decide between having 3 10x8s, you could have 2 A3s, or you could have one A2 or A1.
Yeah, I think it's...
It was a cool, awesome experience to be able to have work up in London and spread the word and have industry professionals possibly come and look at your work. It's the first time I've ever had work up in London, and I can't pinpoint a future time right now when I will again.
Yeah.
I aim to, but I just don't know when. So for that alone, it was amazing. And just being in London for a purpose compared to the year before, felt like I was there for more of a reason.
Actually,
and I took more out of it. Yeah. And just the night itself was great. It was seeing the opportunity to share that experience with everybody in your course.
Yeah.
I feel as a class will be key to everybody's learning experience at university. Yeah. So the knowledge of the experience that needs to go into planning an exhibition, we've all learnt more from it being unorganised. Yeah. So that if any of us do it again, we'll be more organised. Yeah, so if it had gone swimmingly due to a small minority, then we would have learnt less from it. Ending on that comes to our roundup of our second year at university. We have squeezed 2 terms into one episode, but we bring it to you with detail, we bring it to you with confidence that we've learnt a lot, and we move into third year
and the future.
Thanks for listening, guys.